Highway to Hell No.
Fail, Army.
Disturbing content.
All that and unfortunately more.
Break the earplugs out, please.
Wait, let me do this real quick. Okay, I'm good.
Super Media Bros.
What?
Huh?
Huh? Okay, I guess maybe we should take these out so we can hear everything.
What?
Oh, yeah, take your earplugs out. Take them out.
Oh.
Is that better?
Yeah. So now I have to endure my ears bleeding.
Well, me too. I may shove Q-tips into the eardrums like in the Sixth Nightmare on Elm Street.
Internal hemorrhaging galore.
Yeah.
That sounds like an album.
Internal Hemorrhaging Galore,
Yeah.
the album.
Yeah. The musical.
Internal Hemorrhaging, the musical.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 137 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I'm Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Okame.
Today, we are going to hell and back. That's an understatement.
We do this so often. We go to hell and back. But this time, it's a different level. It's like beyond the 7 or 9 or 1,000 levels that they have. This is like below Satan's asshole.
We've broken the threshold of hell. We've passed the 9th circle. We're burning like a motherfucker.
You ever notice that we're probably just creating more levels as we do episodes for hell?
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know, just everything content-wise just opens up a whole new level.
People go to hell and realize that the Super Media Bros are responsible for the levels of hell that they are going to.
Well, we're trying to create our own, like, contained sanity from what we're about to endure.
Yeah, so, okay, we've done flop 10s aplenty. Today, I think we're just going to have some brain spew.
Good old discussion.
We're going to talk about bands and or artists that they should have hung it up a long time ago. They should have either retired or they should have just never done it at all.
Yeah.
And it's mostly rock artists, sadly.
Yeah, because, I mean, it just seems like most pop artists,
they come and go anyway.
yeah, like they disappear and reappear and disappear and reappear. And we're just like, they even came back? Like, why?
Yeah.
But yeah, we, specifically us, grew up on so much rock music from like 1990 on till now. And a lot of these guys are just still cranking music. And I'm literally cringing by saying that because a lot of people on this list have either literally rid the money train the entire time from when their last album that was good up until now, or they went a whole different direction and it just makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Yeah, and the fucked up part is, honestly, I know for a fact at least 2 artists on this list I genuinely enjoy, but it's high time to just stop.
Get some help.
Yeah, exactly. Stop it and get some help. Just go live your retirement life.
We just need to send Michael Jordan to everybody that's on
Just
this
fucking
list.
have him just like knock on the door like,
Stop it. Get
some
some help.
shall we get into it?
Who do you want to start with? I mean, there's plenty of people that we have here.
All right, I'm going to start with AC/DC because that is a prime example of a band to me that I really enjoy for nostalgic reasons and like because I grew up on them, but like nostalgic reasons aside, they've never really done anything different. They've always been who they are. They just make, you know, a heavier version of like blues rock and they kick ass, but shit, dude.
Yeah, we had this discussion, I don't know how long ago it was, because we were talking about how Axl Rose took over for the front man for a little while and stuff like that. And I'm like, why are they still making anything, period? And he basically argued that, you know, they're still a good band. And I'm sitting there going, well, all I hear is the entire time. So it's like,
Well, that's Brian Johnson for you.
yeah, don't get me wrong. I do agree with what you said. They are a great band, but only from the beginning up until about mid 90s, early 2000s. That was probably like the prime time.
Yeah,
me.
like they're okay. So Bon Scott, when Bon Scott passed, a lot of people were like, "Oh, maybe you should hang it up." And I mean, they probably could have, but then we wouldn't have gotten like Back in Black and fucking
Thunderstruck.
Yeah, like the Razor's Edge, like that album's really great. I feel like a lot of the shit they did in the mid '80s was a little underrated, especially the Maximum Overdrive album. That had some really cool shit on it. And then Fly on the Wall had some really good shit. Ballbreaker, the one that came out in 1996, was pretty good. It was more blues driven. And then like they disappeared, and then Stiff Upper Lip came out in 2000, which if you think about the fact that from 1990 to 2000, they only put 3 albums out, that's spacious, honestly. And then from Stiff Upper Lip all the way into 2008, Black Ice came out. And honestly, Black Ice was probably one of their better albums since Razor's Edge. And to me, that's where they should have stopped, because that's the last album that Malcolm Young appeared on before he died. When they did the Rock or Bust album, Bust. Phil Rudd wasn't in the band anymore, so they got the drummer from the Razor's Edge album to play on that one. Then Malcolm and Angus's nephew Stevie took over on guitar, which he toured on the 1988 Blow Up Your Video tour while Malcolm was in rehab.
Mm-hmm.
But the point I'm getting at is that they right now are supposedly working on a new album with Brian Johnson. And Angus has stated, as of probably last year, he wants them to do another 10 years. Fucking why, dude? Y'all are going to die before then.
Dude, you're stretching like 40 years now. Like, come on. Point being,
Yeah, they need to stop.
decades of content later. Yeah, nostalgia is great and all, but when I think of nostalgia, I go back to certain albums that I listen to like on repeat. I don't want to hear the same shit, but with shittier lyrics, or a lot of the original band members gone. Like, why even continue at this point? Because you have like medical conditions. I think Brian Johnson had like a ear thing or something.
Yeah, he's pretty much deaf in one ear from like he does like racing. Like he likes to do racing events or some shit.
Yeah.
And he never wore earplugs to him, and it blew his fucking hearing out. It's like, dude.
And then I think Angus had something with him. I forgot what it was.
Oh, Malcolm had dementia. But he died from that. It's like he's gone. And then Cliff Williams, their bassist, retired.
Yeah.
And fucking Phil Rudd apparently fucking tried to hire someone to contract kill somebody or some shit, and he had like a lot of meth on him or some crap. It's like, dude, just let it go.
I thought one of them had like cancer or something. Or am I just mistaken for another band?
Probably another band. But
Okay.
still, like, they need to stop.
The point, yeah. Because like I said, it's just, to me, it just sounds like the same stuff over and over again. And I can't do that whenever my palette for music has become so eclectic over the last like 20 years. I listen to like 15 to 20 different genres of music now versus the narrow 3 or 4 that I used to listen to. So
Right.
why should I have to listen to Brian Johnson singing the same exact way for another like 10 years?
Yeah, and his vocal range just bit the fucking dust so bad. The elephant in the room that I do want to address with most of these bands could literally tour that material for the rest of their lives. There's no point in putting anything new out, because once they put these albums out and the album cycle finishes, I've caught, like, the next band I would like to bring up, honestly, I've caught this band live in 2012. They were good. They can still go, but it's not like they need to add any new albums to their repertoire, because once these albums are finished, they don't ever play any music from them again. And that's Aerosmith, dude.
Yeah. They kind of have the same syndrome as AC/DC, because a lot of these bands and artists have a shtick that defines who they are as a band, not so much this guitar player or this bassist or this drummer. No, it's literally the singer to me, because AC/DC had Brian Johnson's vocals, and then Aerosmith had, Steven Tyler, who, I mean, you can distinctly tell the difference between them two guys from anybody else. And I can't think of anything else besides hearing that vocal over and over and over again, that range, that type of voice, and hear new music. Like, it doesn't go well with me. I understand you want to keep making music, or you want to still keep playing music, but like you said, tour your old stuff and just ride it out until you're ready to be done. But don't keep making more music when really the interest is very limited now for any of these like 1970s, 80s bands to keep making new stuff. Because we want, like I said, we want nostalgia. We go back and listen to their old shit.
Yeah, because the last thing that Aerosmith did, honestly, that was of any kind of relevance was the Just Push Play that had Jaded, and with Aerosmith, I can give them this. With every album that they would come out with, they would try to reinvent themselves. I think it was Music from Another Dimension. I want to say that was the name of the album, but I could be wrong. But the album that I caught them on tour on was just not up to par. Like, it was good, but it wasn't great. They could have honestly just toured without a new album and be good.
Yeah, because I mean, after like, I want to say like late 90s, early 2000s, or mid 2000s, I want to say, is basically when I stopped listening to them, only because I have a moments where I want to listen to classic rock and I kind of just dismiss it and go to something else. And that's when everything started to change. But I can't, like, I think the next band that I want to talk about is kind of the same way. Like, as much as I like them, like, they need to stop. Their sound has just kind of degraded after one album, is Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica hasn't really put anything decent out since the Load and Reload days, honestly. That was like whenever they went alternative, basically.
And that's a stretch, because I will give them some credit for a few songs on both those albums, but I think when they stopped being good was the Black Album.
Yeah, and a lot of people will even argue that point and say that they stopped being good after Injustice for All, which, I mean, every band is going to have that threshold that they break, that glass ceiling that they reach, and they're just going to shatter it. And I feel like the Black Album was that for them. I didn't mind Load and Reload, because technically Load was like a new album, but Reload was just leftovers from the recording sessions.
Right.
And even, like you said, that is a stretch, honestly, because I think for Reload, there was like a couple of songs, like Fuel obviously is a really... That's a high energy song. I can't deny that. But Metallica themselves probably could have called it a day and went out on top with the Black Album. Yeah.
Yeah. But they made Saint Anger and completely ruined who they were.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was fucking garbage, dude.
Like, speaking of, the trash can sounding drums that Lars did through that whole fucking album made no fucking sense to me whatsoever.
Dude, have you seen the YouTube videos where they take the older songs and then they put the Saint Anger snare drum in its place?
No.
Dude, we have to watch this shit when we're done. This is the fucking funniest thing ever.
This shit tarnishes everything that I hold sacred to them now.
Yeah. The best one to listen to, honestly, is Master of Puppets, because there's so much snare work being done in that one. It's so fucking hilarious.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Metallica needs to they really need to stop. Who's next?
How about, I'm looking straight in the middle here, Disturbed.
Yeah.
Guys, listen to me. Please open your minds and your ears when I say this. Disturbed sucked after their first album. Hands down.
And a lot of people, again, would argue that some of these bands we're going to talk about sucked, period. I'm not the biggest Disturbed fan, but I will say when that first album came out, it was just kind of like, all right. You know what I mean? Like, I'll definitely give it a listen. Enjoyed some of the shit, but yeah, that's the only album worth going back to. If you're going to listen to these guys whatsoever, go back to that one.
Yeah, because The Sickness was so, not really cringy in like a bad way. It was like, just like yeah, I feel
energetic.
Dude. Yeah, I feel like I want to fuck shit up kind of way.
Right.
But yeah, Thousand Fists and that whole mess of crap after that. Dude, what the heck? And like, we were talking about this earlier. I don't know what David Draymond's ordeal is with, I don't know if he's going Christian or he's trying to be more positive. But dude, literally, you had a thing going on back in the day. Why change that? But he took his piercings out and it's like suddenly all the depression lifted off of his shoulders. I'm suddenly not sad.
Let's move along to some garbage. Like literal garbage. Awol Nation.
Okay, this is a classification of artists that should have just not existed.
Yes, thank you.
Like, I listen to a lot of artists that just have a unique sound and a twisted sound that not many people like, but I don't get Awol.
I don't either.
I don't understand how they're interesting.
I don't either. And if y'all out there have heard this story before, we apologize in advance. However, if you have not heard this story, let's take you on a magic carpet ride back to 2016. New Orleans, the Smoothie King Center, the Fall Out Boy tour that featured Paris, who is a fucking great band, and fucking Awol Nation. Why did this band go in the middle of the lineup? I will never know, but that allowed Cody and I to go spend our time at the merch booth to get some fucking t-shirts and shit. Like, we literally spent Awol Nation's entire fucking set.
It was like 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, waiting in line at the merch booth. Yeah, to get t-shirts and shit. And then once we came back, they were just finishing up.
Like, it was a good timer because we knew exactly when to go back and sit down. Because we were like, okay, do we have time? Yeah, they're still playing that whatever song it is. Okay, we're good.
I remember at one point you were like, hey, when are they gonna, leave? And I was like, I guarantee you the last song they play is Fail. And that's exactly what fucking happened. So that was our cue to be like, all right, we got to go back.
Yep. You start hearing the yep, that's it. Let's go.
Did I just call it Fail?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. I mean, that's what we call it anyway. It's not Sail, but Fail.
We're so used to that. Yeah, I know. But yeah, again, Awol Nation should not have done anything, period. That's just our personal opinion. Fight us. I don't care. However, let's go to Papa Roach. I will give them credit up until, I think, Getting Away with Murder. Everything before that was pretty good. But Infest was like, I mean, obviously their best album. However, everything after that, I question, which is, again, the theme of this episode. But we shat on them. I can't remember the song it was in our flop 10 of like shittiest songs. I couldn't fathom like what the hell Jacoby was doing in that song.
Yeah, it's absolutely that classic case of please stop. I just thought of an artist. It's probably going to be a controversial.
Oh boy.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Honestly, I kind of can't agree. They have such a defining sound that how can you make that different, Right, and it's not even disparaging them as musicians because fucking John Frusciante, I mean, hell, Hillel Slovak, their first guitar player, Chad Smith, Flea, Anthony Kiedis, phenomenal musicians. Like, I will never, ever take that away from those guys. Agreed, yeah.
However, when they had Josh Klinghoffer in the band, I thought that was a good, like, fresh boost of, like, energy for them because watching their performances with him live, that dude was fucking all over the place on stage. And I was like, oh my God, maybe this is, that spark they fucking need to kind of maybe last another decade or so. But they wound up booting his ass, and fucking John Frusciante is back in the band as of 2019. Mm. But I'll be honest, I think Stadium Arcadium was like peak Chili Peppers, and that's pushing it because that was like probably their most mainstream album as of the new decades and the new millennium.
But they were riding off Californication and all that. Like that point on,
that was their comeback album.
Yeah, but they stuck with that same formula from Californication. Don't get me wrong, Californication is a great fucking album, but like I said, it's just the same Anthony Kiedis, the same Flea, the same everything, and it didn't do anything for me after a while.
Yeah, honestly, with Stadium Arcadium kind of being like pushing it, the last, to me, truly great album they did was By the Way. I feel like they probably could have called it a day right then, and their legacy would not have been tarnished whatsoever.
So yeah, like I said, I don't disagree. Once you actually sit down and listen to everything, it makes sense. It really does.
Next.
What about Drowning Pool?
They should have stopped once Dave died. Sinner was their only good album, and I'm not even gonna fucking argue with anybody else over that because I couldn't even tell you who the fuck their 50 replacement frontmen were on their subsequent albums afterwards.
But that's another thing too. Like they all sound too mainstream after Sinner, because Sinner was so defining as an album back in the 2000s. You hear Sinner, All Over Me, Bodies is literally one of the, not a meme song, but it's like one of the songs you do recall and make fun of because it's fucking Bodies. Come on.
Yeah, dude, Bodies is one of those like, how do I put this without like insulting the legacy of that man? It's not like so bad it's good, but it's absolutely memeable as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like
it's a great song on its own, but at the same time, it's such a, not a joke. I'm trying to find the right word to say this. It's the context can be taken a different direction. Let's put it that way.
Right. Because it was written about a fucking mosh pit.
Yeah.
But I always picture like action sequences in movies when there's like a montage of like the lead character beating everybody's ass all over the place. Let the bodies hit the like and just fucking annihilating motherfuckers.
I.e. a lot of the movies we watch.
This is true. Okay, so Maybe that could be like a future thing for like Cult Cinema Showdown, like the bodies ranking scale, where it's like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome would bodies sound underneath this action sequence?
I mean, you have the kill count, we have the body fall count.
the literal body count, the bodies count.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could have hung it up because I don't give a shit enough about the other three guys to give a fuck about any of the albums they did after the fact.
The guys after the fact just wanted to keep going, and I'm like, then rebrand yourself. Do something with the name. Don't keep continuing the legacy with someone who actually defined that name, you know?
Right.
Like with Chester, he defined Linkin Park. And
sure.
When he died, like, you can't have Linkin Park without him.
Yeah, he's definitely irreplaceable.
Oh, I don't know if they qualify on this list or not, but I think 3 Days Grace.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Mainly because I think after their first two albums,
dude, when Adam left, they went to shit because you remember that fucking stupid goddamn porn star dancing song?
Please don't remind me, but yes.
The singer of that band is the lead singer currently because his brother is the bass player for 3 Days Grace.
Oh my God. I feel so bad for them.
Yeah, dude. And it's so bothersome because what the actual fuck? And I got a great story now because let me tell you how far this has fallen. I don't even remember what the fucking name of the band is, but the remaining members of that band, the band that did fucking porn star dancing.
My Darkest Day.
Thank you. The remaining members of My Darkest Day, I saw them.
I know that, but go ahead.
I saw them. I didn't go to see them. I can't remember who the fucking band was that I went to go see, but they were opening at the Scout Bar in Houston. And it was just the guitarist and the bass player. They had a new drummer and a new singer, and they were a brand new fucking band. And I was like, these guys look a little familiar, but I'm not too sure. They fucking played that song. And they were like, you might remember this, blah, blah. And I'm like, God damn, how much are y'all fucking reaching to stay relevant? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. It was so fucking bad, dude. Like the point there, it's terrible enough you can't remember who the fuck they are.
You know, the only good thing about that song was Zakk Wylde.
Fun fact, you know who discovered My Darkest Day? Chad fucking Kroger.
I know, because he was always in that song.
Like, going back to 3 Days Grace, though. They could have hung it the fuck up after Adam left. I don't give a shit. 3 Days Disgrace. Godsmack.
Y'all, come on. After their first album, it just went completely like train wreck.
They got smacked.
Like, not even Awake was a good album.
I was asleep during Awake.
I don't know how much to say about these guys because Sully Erna just went a whole different direction that it shouldn't have gone.
Yeah, and what was the name of the first album? Was it just self-titled or some shit?
I think so.
I remember pumping that album in my fucking car stereo in high school, being like, yeah, this is fucking legit. I'm so happy that my musical tastes have flourished since my high school days, to be honest. Because I did listen to Faceless. Was it Faceless? That had Straight Outta Line on it?
Yeah.
I listened to those and I was like, okay, that's something. But I really appreciated their first album more. And I think as I grew older, I was like, man, fuck those albums.
Yeah, it was just surprising how much I actually listened to Awake, like the actual song itself. And now that I look back, I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with me? Like, seriously?
Dude, do you remember that, what was that MTV show they did where they had the body cameras and they would go into the haunted places because they used voodoo for the theme song? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh,
If somebody out there listening is
I know
like,
what
you
you're
fucking dumbasses, you can't remember that shit.
Well, like, I mean, we know we're dumbasses, so what?
Yeah, fuck off.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, even voodoo's a stretch to call it a decent song.
Voodoo was fun musically to me because I dug the tribal feel to it, and I think that's what sold me on it. But honestly, the rest of that album was pretty fun.
And I fucking can't stand I Stand Alone. That is such a fucking terrible piece of shit song, guys. Not to mention it was part of a not so great movie as the soundtrack.
Yeah, the fucking Scorpion King was so bad, dude. And that's not even discrediting The Rock, because he did what he was given.
Yeah.
But fuck
that movie, fuck that song, and fuck Godsmack. Hands down.
On their faces. They're smack down.
Yeah.
The Rock, God smackdown.
He should have.
Just...
Jesus.
Bon Jovi, dude. And I'm going to make this just really fucking plain and simple. When It's My Life came out, that should have been like, okay, guys, we're here. We can reinvent ourselves, but this is the best you're gonna get because everything that happened after that was fucking garbage. Especially fucking Who Says You Can't Go Home. That was the most stupid shit. It was dumb as fuck. They tried to be country. They kicked Richie Sambora out of the fucking band. Man, fuck those guys.
Like, It's My Life was one of those songs you can't stand, but you can't help but sing to for some reason. Like,
It's catchy.
Yeah, like, this is kind of like a weird tangent. For some odd reason, I do this to myself, but I did that to Shania Twain a lot. Like, I hate fucking country music, but every time she played, I always sung to her music. I was like, what the hell is
Shania's a goddamn legend, though, man.
I know, but it's like, I feel weird about myself after doing it. The same with that song. It's My Life is too fucking catchy, even though it's not a good song to me.
And that's the weird part, is like, we can agree on that. It's just like, okay, yeah, it is what it is. But from a songwriting perspective, I can honestly say that's a fucking well-written track. But I don't care for it.
No.
Just, fuck, man. I long for the days of the Slippery When Wet Bon Jovi, you know, back when they were fucking metal.
Wanted, Dead or Alive, and all those great tracks.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Wanted, Dead or Alive was as country as they should have gone, to tell you the truth. And I think that was even a stretch for that. But anyway, I digress. Moving on. Guns N' Roses.
I fucking hate them, period. Like,
I know you do, man. A lot of people fucking do.
I love Slash. I love his guitar work and everything about him. I just fucking hate Axl Rose with a passion, and I think he just drives that whole fucking band down.
Now that we're on this track, or because I'm about to bring in another band, and I'm gonna play 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon with you on this one, okay?
Go ahead.
Because I want to discuss Guns N' Roses and Stone Temple Pilots together, because I also want to talk about Velvet Revolver,
Yeah.
and that's the connection that we're making here. So I thought Velvet Revolver was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that was the most oddball pairing of a lead singer and a set of band members. I was like, this isn't gonna work.
But they did.
Yeah, and it was pretty fucking cool. I just wish that Scott Weiland would have gotten his shit together, because his addictions are what drove every project he did apart.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he fucking died, which in turn is like, okay, Stone Temple Pilots, they probably should have hung it up immediately after Scott passed away. But they went with Chester Bennington, who also passed away. And now they're on their third fucking singer, and they just put an album out with this guy, and I can't get into it.
I think we had this discussion earlier too as well. It's
Yeah, we
like,
did.
You had so many signs, guys. Clearly, somebody does not want you making music.
Right?
Because otherwise, number 3 is going to be
Yeah,
down
and then,
south.
Yeah, and then the DeLeo brothers did a fucking project with Richard Patrick from Filter called Army of Anyone, and that was a pretty decent little project, which is proof that the DeLeos could do something entirely different and make it work. STP should have called it a fucking day. Velvet Revolver was unfortunately like, a victim of addictions and then like, other shit. Guns N' Roses, I think the guys in Velvet Revolver were like, we fucking really need to get back with Axl Rose. Because Guns N' Roses finally released that fucking Chinese Democracy album. Axl gets with Slash, Duff McKagan, and Izzy Stradlin. There's your Guns N' Roses. They don't have the original drummer, and then they have a bunch of extra backing musicians, and they're just kind of legacy touring right now, but they're supposedly working on a new album. You don't fucking need to. We don't need anything new from you guys. You have a plethora of fucking music to tour on. I mean, for fuck's sake, your goddamn stage tour is like a 2.5 hour set list.
Who can survive 30 minutes of Axl? And I know you guys said, what does he have so much hatred towards Axl Rose? Well, I'm going to tell you, there was a list that they made, I don't know how many years ago. They ranked the best vocalist of all time. They ranked Axl Rose as the best vocalist. And I'm like, on whose fucking authority?
And I think they were kind of basing that on octaves and range and shit like that, which he does, but he's definitely not the fucking best. I'm sorry.
No.
And I mean, I know that's subjective to a lot of people where it's like, my list could have Steven Tyler could be number 1, or Axl Rose could be number 1, or Brian Johnson could be number 1, or, whoever it is.
Robert Plant.
Dude, look, nobody will fuck with that band.
No.
Because I was going to save that as a talking point for dead last, but I guess we'll talk about it now. Led Zeppelin did it right. When John Bonham, the drummer, okay? When John Bonham, their drummer, died, they hung it the fuck up. Most bands just play musical chairs with their people that die off or quit the band, and it still doesn't sound the same.
No.
They did it right, because You cannot have Led Zeppelin. Now, granted, they did do that A&R concert in England with Jason Bonham, which was his son, which that is completely understandable because Jason is directly blood related to John and is just as good of a drummer as his father was. But they're not out there touring and putting new albums out.
Yeah.
They did it right. Their legacy is still holding up strong today, and people still love Led Zeppelin because they're not fucking ruining themselves anymore.
Yeah, or the music industry.
Exactly. Coming back full circle to all this shit, it's like, come on, man. Axl is not that fucking great.
No.
Welcome to fuck.
Sorry, guys.
What? He actually spoke that way because he kind of sounds whiny in general when he talks normally.
Mm-hmm.
But I fucking like picture him like that's his voice gets stuck because he was singing like that. And he was like, welcome to McDonald's, man. Take your order. Can I get a number 5 with some large fries? Please, please. They're gonna do like a "Where Are They Now" shit like 20 years from now. Whatever happened to Axl Rose? Well, when I decided to retire, I opened up a floral shop. I sell nothing but roses. And then the crew is just like, this is a waste of time. Let's pull out. Let's go home. His mom should have pulled out.
You know, it reminds me of Mrs. Doubtfire when the original host of that documentary or that little TV show that they were doing. The film crew was just like falling asleep.
Oh my God, yes.
That is exactly how I imagined them like doing the interview with Axl. It's just like,
Speaking of Imagine, let's move forward. Imagine Dragons.
like even Radioactive is stretched to its limit of playability.
It's one of the most garbage ass songs ever fucking written, dude. I'm sorry. It's just not good.
Guys, y'all are not as good as everybody makes y'all out to be. I'm sorry. Y'all need to quit imagining.
Right.
That is dragging y'all to the ground.
Yeah.
Ha.
Imagine Dragons. It's probably like heroin. Like they're chasing dragons. Like Imagine Dragons. Oh my God.
I'm waking up. Whoa.
Hello.
That hit.
That whip bullshit.
Oh my. Don't fucking remind me of that garbage.
What was the name of that one?
I don't fucking know. I just know it's whip.
whip their own asses out of existence. is
Somebody
what
needs to
happen.
fucking their asses.
Yeah. Now I'm really stumped because I know we talked about that one too. I think I read the title the other day. Somebody was talking about it, and I was just like, "Oh God, fuck that shit for real."
It's like you have PTSD when you hear that song.
PTS Dragons.
Yeah.
Moving on. Shinedown. That's another band The Rock needs to come put the smackdown on. Bye.
They only
Cody's like face palming so fucking hard right now.
They only had like 2 tolerable albums, and that was the first 2. We, again, had another flop 10 with them included, with the shittiest songs. Attention, attention. Fucking why? Why do you do this? Why? What is the fucking... There is no musical interest in that song whatsoever. I am so fucking done with that song.
I'm done. In general.
I lost my attention, okay? But yeah, like I forget the name of the album. It was like the one with the crow and the butterfly on it. I think that was one of my go-to albums back in the day just because. And the first album would have Fly from the Inside, which that was a somewhat decent song. But yeah, all the stuff now, just no.
Is it sad that right now, as we're sitting here doing this, I am kind of brainstorming who is still out there doing music? And it's to the point where, like, you know, people are like, oh, rock isn't dead. And I'm like, I mean, not necessarily that it's dead.
It's getting killed.
It's, yeah, exactly. Like, there's no rock band of any real relevance right now as far as mainstream goes. Because I could tell you right now, there's a ton of bands in the underground or indie or, you know, kind of that threshold of we're not radio played all the time, but we're still fucking good. There's a lot of those out there. But as far as mainstream goes, rock as a genre is fucking failing. Yeah, it is fucking bad.
Because it's the same drowned out vocals, the same drums, the same guitar, the same douchey vocalist. It's a dumpster fire just drizzled with fucking golden showers at this point.
Would you say we're damn near finished with this?
Pretty much.
Okay, I have one. I know this is something that you and I mutually agree on. Five Finger Death Punch.
God.
Fuck that band up its ass with a fucking cactus.
I don't see the interest in that band. I really don't. And I think there's like, I guess you can call it like Southern heavy metal rock sound.
It's bro rock, dude. That's all it is. It's college frat bro rock that needs to die. This band is the soundtrack for Monster Energy Kyle.
Like, I'm having a hard, like, you guys don't see me right now. I'm having a hard time expressing my disgust with these guys.
Your face is having issues making an expression.
There's a perfect library of animations in my face that explain what my disdain is right now. But in words, I can't because, A, I hear them so often, I just want to fucking puke.
Right.
B, there's nothing about them that stands out besides just how garbage they sound. Granted, I'm probably gonna get flagged for this, and fuck it, I don't give a shit. A lot of people out there who listen to them, love them, they have no idea what good music is.
I was gonna say the same fucking thing. If you listen to Five Finger Death Punch, unironically, legitimately, like Five Finger Death Punch is your favorite band, you fucking suck as a human being. Because I'm not gonna lie, everybody that I have ever talked to or come into contact with that love that band are pieces of shit.
And I mean, that's mostly like people you see at like bar fights and stuff. Like, that's the song that they put on the jukebox to get into a fucking brawl with other people.
My Friday night is here. I'm gonna go to a bar and I'm gonna fucking put my goddamn credit in and I'm gonna put that Five Finger Death Punch and drink my fucking vodka Jägermeister and we're gonna fucking punch somebody in the face at the pool table over $2.
And then all you hear is, oh, we oh, just like Jekyll and Hyde. I'm like, oh, God. In my life.
Five Finger Death. Right in my goddamn face.
The band sucks. Every song they make sucks. Hang it up.
I think I'm spent. I physically am hurting. Like, my brain fucking hurts.
Now, if there's any comments you guys out there in podcast land would like to make about this whole episode, whether it's to, hey, y'all forgot about these guys, or I can't believe you said Five Finger Death Punch sucks, please feel free to let us know.
Yeah. So when this episode drops and you're following us at supermediabros_ on Twitter and you see the episode release tweet that we put out, feel free to comment under that and make a thread and tag your friends and ask them what they think.
Oh yeah, please give me y'all's army of drunken bromasters hating on us because we said your favorite band sucks.
They're gonna
with
be
their
like,
white beaters and their hats on, like, dude, what the fuck?
bro, you don't know good music, bro.
Clicking their monster. Ready to go now.
I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna beat your dick into the dirt.
And then you hear Ken, I'm gonna speak to y'all's manager.
Bitch, we are.
We don't have one.
We are the manager. Fuck off.
Take your kids to a soccer game and bitch about the coach.
Yes. We are also the coach you're gonna bitch about.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to coach people into good music.
God damn it. Like, y'all listen to a lot of stuff. Like, if y'all hear us talk about, like, album reviews or recommendations, that's the direction y'all need to go. Not to the actual radio in your car that only picks up the local stations, because 9 times out of 10, they fucking suck, too.
I'm telling you right now, our local radio station, it's not even really local, it's like in fucking Texas. You turn it to the big dog over there in fucking Beaumont or whatever, and it's the same 5 bands on repeat every day, all day.
Five Finger Death Punch, Godsmack, Shine Down, Papa Roach. That's 4 bands, but who fucking cares?
No, it's still, I mean, the 5th band is probably Five Finger Death Punch too. They're like, oh, we ran out of them, but just fucking play those guys again.
Yeah, we'll play another song by them. Or play the same song again. Because everybody likes them.
That's right.
I just hate to hear like the DJ or the VJ or whoever the fuck it is. Man.
VJ Emmy.
Whoever it is. Literally probably the same person as we are getting the phone call. Hey, I have a request. Sure, what you got, buddy? I want to hear Five Finger Death Punch. You just heard that song. I want to hear it again.
It's a good thing I got it queued up. They probably already have like the same bands on like immediate punch up.
They have like this playlist like saved as like Five Finger, 2 songs, Five Finger, 2 songs.
Five Finger, 2 song punch.
Yeah. It's like 2 different bands and then Five Finger in between. It's a 5 finger sandwich.
I'm fucking done. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I'm just like curious to see like how much threats and hatred we're gonna get.
Oh, dude, I've already like sat and thought about this. Like, we got too angry to the point I know that it's gonna be like, man, you guys are pieces of shit. Like, do y'all just like live to shit on movies and music? Like, actually, we don't, because a lot of the times when we shit on certain movies, it's all in good fun. However, when it comes to Five Finger Death Punch, I mean every fucking word of this. Like, fuck those guys and the fan base, because the fan base is toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say.
Like, you listen to them and you just imagine yourself in a bar because that's what it feels like.
It really does, dude. Like some shitty like hole in the wall bar with like the jukebox where if you play anything other than rock and roll,
everybody turns their head. Fuck, good examples.
We did that fucking months ago.
We did that like twice. We did that at a bar and at a Waffle House.
Waffle House is fun to troll everybody else in the restaurant right before you leave. Like, you play the music you want to hear, but you troll them with something completely stupid.
No, funny story. It was me, Richie, I think.
It was just me, you, and Aiden, because we sat at the long table.
Okay. So, that being said.
Story time.
We sat there and listened to Christmas music over and over and over. And Richie saw the lack of fucks to give in my face. And I was just like, dude, we got to do something about this. So, we ended up playing Daft Punk. And I think it was Chromeo and some other bands. But it was like
a lot of funk.
Yeah, and it was so drastically different from what they were playing. There were people looking at us with like, the fuck you doing face. And we're just like, fuck it.
We unfortunately fucking live in a state where everybody is conditioned to listen to the same fucking shit and just be convinced that it's good.
Like, we had like every plant worker and truck driver in that restaurant giving us like this shit face.
How dare you fucking turn the Christmas music off, you sons of bitches. But yeah, that's a story. That's a good story to end this on, because that was a lot of fun doing that shit. We like to troll motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah. Just like we just did.
Yeah. Dunk on your hoes.
Yeah. 5-finger dunk.
5-finger dunk punch. 5-finger dunkaroos. Like, fucking.
Oh my God. I could just see them like listen to this podcast like, hey, that's a good promo right there. We should make Dunkaroos with our name on it.
Yeah, guys, Dunkaroos are coming back in a big way. Let's capitalize on that 90s culture. 5-finger Dunkaroos. With our personal frosting.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like sweat and beer and energy drinks taste.
That fucking album cover, and they go on the inside where they fucking have everybody they're thanking. We like to thank everybody because we put our blood, sweat, and beers into this album.
You know, I can just imagine like what the cover, not the cover, but the actual packaging looks like. They take the Pantera vocal display of power and have a Dunkaroo in the hand, and it's crushing up against the cream.
The glaze.
And a vulgar display of hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this was our original idea. It's like, no, it wasn't. It's Pantera, fucker.
A vulgar display of hunger.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah.
They probably don't even give a shit. They're like, who listens to these 2-bit podcasts
Dude,
anyway?
I'm telling you right now, somebody has stopped listening like at the 20-minute mark. Probably the 4-minute mark. Who the fuck knows? If you've made it this far, thank you. And if you still don't hate us, you're fucking awesome.
Every Karen, Colin, Kev just turned off.
Fuck this route.
Our demographic went from like however many to like less than 10. It was like, it went down 10 people.
We're back at 2 listeners. Like we actually broke 1,000 downloads last month, and now we're probably back to like 2 people.
Oh no, fuck that. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of decent people out there. So it's like 990 now. Because the only 10 people are like, yeah, these people are fucking funny. And then it's like, man, I thought they were funny.
Yeah, and what if it was the 2 people that listened to us were like the Kyles and Kevins or the Karens or whatever?
Well, now it's 998 to 98. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it. Listen to past, present, and future episodes at supermediabrospodcast.com.
If you like listen to us shit on people, there's plenty more.
Right. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/supermediabros, twitter.com/supermediabros_, and we're at supermediabros podcast on Instagram. If you feel like supporting us monetarily, you can go to coffee.com, that's ko-fi.com/supermediabros, and there's no obligation. You can donate whatever you feel we're worth. If it's worth the $2 that you would normally spend on a 5-finger death punch song, fucking send it to us instead.
They're going to pay us a coffee just to say something good about them. It's like, no.
I would laugh my ass off if it was from the band. They're like, here's a $5 death punch. Please say something nice about our new album.
No. I will call Neil Breen to throw a rock at your face. And And it's the other way around. I know. Fuck off.
Yeah,
But still.
it bounces off his own head and hits them in the fucking face.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's roll out of this bitch because I don't think my brain can handle too much more of everything that we've been talking about.
Especially trying to imitate Kyle, Kevin, Karen.
Fuck those people.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
Like, I feel myself degrading back to the 2000s.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next week, I've been Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Okame.
Shades on.
We're off.